In a legal twist that no one saw coming, Blake Lively has allegedly attempted to have parts of her own deposition withdrawn from the court record, and now, Justin Baldoni is speaking out. What started as a high-profile legal dispute has now turned into a deeper battle over transparency, accountability, and reputational survival. But what exactly did Blake try to retract, and why is Baldoni calm, quiet, and calculated up until now, finally breaking his silence today? We unpack the latest filings, the explosive response from Baldoni's camp, and what this might mean for the future of the case. Is this a strategic move by Lively's legal team to contain damage, or a reactive decision driven by unexpected revelations in the deposition itself? And more importantly, what is Justin trying to protect: his name, his career, or something even bigger? The legal back and forth has captured Hollywood's attention for months. But this latest development, Blake wanting her own sworn words removed, has taken center stage. And for the first time, Justin isn't just observing quietly from the sidelines. He's stepping forward, and his response is as measured as it is sharp. From the court documents to behind-the-scenes conversations, we've got all the updates, expert takes, and context you need. So grab your seat, because this legal drama just took a very personal turn. Let's dive deep into Justin Baldoni's official response to Blake Lively's unusual legal maneuver, and what it reveals about the stakes they're both playing for. Blake Lively's legal team recently filed a motion that raised eyebrows across the entertainment and legal communities, like a request to retract sections, or possibly the entirety of her own deposition testimony from court records. Such a request is not only rare, but also sends a signal that something within those transcripts could be perceived as damaging, inconsistent, or strategically vulnerable. According to sources familiar with the matter, Lively's team cited irrelevant and prejudicial material as the basis for the withdrawal. The claim was that certain lines of questioning veered away from the core legal dispute and into territory that could unfairly influence public or judicial opinion. Whether that material touched on personal behavior, undisclosed communications, or off-the-record conflicts remains under seal, but speculation is swirling. The move comes just weeks after her deposition became a central talking point in the media, with some outlets pointing out potential contradictions between her courtroom statements and earlier public narratives. For someone with a tightly managed public image, the idea of personal testimony circulating online, even in fragments, is a significant concern. Legal analysts say the motion to withdraw is unusual, but not unprecedented. Courts are generally cautious about altering deposition records, especially when those records have already been entered into case files and shared with opposing counsel. If the material in question holds legal weight or has already influenced motions, removing it could be seen as undermining judicial transparency. Still, Lively's legal team appears determined. Whether it's about limiting liability, shaping narrative control, or anticipating future consequences, their strategy clearly hinges on removing a potential point of vulnerability. And that brings us to the response that took this case into an entirely new direction, the one from Justin Baldoni and his attorneys. In a filing described as respectful yet firm, Justin Baldoni's legal team submitted their response to Blake Lively's attempt to remove her deposition. The message was clear: the integrity of the legal process must remain intact, and altering or withdrawing testimony, especially one given under oath, sets a dangerous precedent. Baldoni's lawyers emphasized that Blake's deposition, as it currently stands, is not only relevant but essential to understanding key points of the case. They noted that testimony, once given under oath, should remain part of the official record unless there is a clear, demonstrable error, and not simply because the testimony is now considered inconvenient or damaging. In a carefully worded section of the filing, Baldoni's counsel wrote, "Deposition testimony, particularly when voluntarily provided and on record, is foundational to the truth-seeking function of this court. Attempts to retroactively suppress or alter that testimony threaten the transparency both parties are entitled to." Though they didn't accuse Lively's team of manipulation outright, the subtext was unmistakable. Trying to remove one's own statements raises concerns about motive. Is Blake trying to shield personal details, control media fallout, or is there a more significant issue buried in those words, one that she now wishes hadn't been said? Adding another layer, Baldoni's response briefly alluded to the importance of fairness. His team argued that both parties have a right to rely on the existing record, and that altering it now after motions have been built around it would be unjust and disruptive. Even more intriguing, however, was a footnote included in the filing referencing possible consequences if the court granted Blake's motion. It suggested that should the deposition be altered, Baldoni's team might seek a public hearing to re-enter parts of it through alternative means. Clearly, Baldoni is drawing a line in the sand. He's not just defending his own interests, he's challenging a legal move that could redefine the rules of engagement in a very public legal conflict. This latest legal twist goes beyond just court strategy. It speaks to a broader battle being waged, one that involves reputations, media narratives. For Blake Lively, the stakes are massive. Her polished public image has always been an asset, cultivated through years of carefully managed press and high-profile roles. But the courtroom is not a PR stage, and anything said under oath carries weight far beyond a red carpet soundbite. If there are inconsistencies or revelations in the deposition, they could undercut that image, leading to scrutiny that even a skilled publicist might struggle to manage. For Justin Baldoni, the decision to push back against the withdrawal signals a commitment to full transparency. It suggests he believes the deposition may actually support his case, or at the very least, offer context that counters previous media coverage. It also shows he's willing to publicly challenge Lively, something few in Hollywood have dared to do directly. This moment could define how both stars are perceived moving forward, not just by fans, but by studios, producers, and brands who are always watching from the sidelines. The courtroom has become the new stage, and every move is scrutinized. And as this dispute continues to unfold, the legal community is watching too. This isn't just a celebrity spat, it's a potential precedent for how legal strategy intersects with fame, and how far stars will go to protect their legacy when the cameras aren't rolling. Blake Lively's motion to remove her own deposition testimony from court records has opened up a new chapter in this already complex legal battle, and Justin Baldoni's response makes one thing clear: he won't sit back silently. The fight is no longer just about legal arguments. It's about truth, perception, and control in the courtroom and beyond. With stakes this high, every document, every filing, and every word carries consequences. As the court prepares to rule on Blake's request, all eyes remain fixed on what happens next.